Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's Peter for the Pain Toolkit. We're on day 5 of our week, really. Persistent pain week. It's been a good week. Just waiting for people to log on. As you know, we're going to have a guest tonight, Jerry, and I've just told him I'm logging on, so I may hang around. Keith's there, so let's add Keith. So he'll come and join us. Yeah, so it's been an interesting week, and here comes Keith. Hey Keith, how you doing, bro?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. You might hear a dog barking in the background, nothing to do with me. It's the neighbours next door. Gone out and left their dog barking as usual. So
Wow.
pretty irritating.
Yeah, well, I've got my little dog here. She's sound asleep right now, but you never know when
Good
they
stuff,
bark.
mate. Yeah, I like a sleeping dog.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're just waiting for Jerry to join us. But I'm just telling our people watching us now.
Mm-hmm.
The week's gone really quick.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it's been really interesting. I've been blown away really with the amount of support we've had.
Mm-hmm. No,
I think
it's been great.
Yeah, last year I think was. Good afternoon to you, Cindy. I was going to say it's. I think last year was our first year, wasn't it? That we did it. Did we?
I think so. Yeah.
Can you remember?
Yeah.
I think
I think last year was the first one.
So it was pretty hit and miss, but I know Helen Room down here in South Africa. I think she did a little bit, but it was a little bit hit and miss.
Mm-hmm.
But but this year has been really cool. Like, a load of people been sending messages and stuff like that.
It's great.
Trying to get involved, etc. So anyway, Jerry Dunham. Hopefully, I'll drop him an email a couple of minutes ago. Hopefully, that he'll see it and he'll come and join us. But in the meanwhile, I think we just have a little chin chat. So we ain't far away from the conference, actually, are we? We're hours away now.
Yeah. It's going to be an early morning for you, so you're going to have to get yourself some rest here to get ready for that.
Yeah. How many hours away are we? About
well, it is
8 hours.
9 hours away.
9 hours away.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to it. I think I said to you yesterday, it's the conference I really like doing, because it feels like I'm doing something meaningful, like,
Right.
getting the word out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what excites me is that that ain't just it's just not listening to healthcare professionals, but listening to other self-managers. Oh, here he comes. Listening to other self-managers and stuff. Hang on a minute. Let me just get old Jerry going here. Let's get him on here. There we go. Yeah, it's a mixture of self-managers and people living with and healthcare professionals, etc. Here he comes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Jerry Durham, the man and the myth.
Good morning, good evening, all of the above.
Yeah. Well, Jerry, you know I've been a big fan of your work.
Pete, you disappeared on my screen. Keith, do you still see all three of us?
I do. Yep.
I can still see everyone.
Okay, don't worry about it. I'm good. But I can't see you, but don't worry about it. Keep going.
Okay.
He's this voice from the ether.
Okay. Anyway, I'm here anyway, Jerry. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you great. Yeah.
Okay. I always say I've got a perfect face for radio.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Right.
So, Jerry, listen, I've been a big fan of what you're doing, and I think the work you do has been, I think I've told you this before, if pain-supported self-management was a jigsaw puzzle, I think your work has been the missing piece, like, you know. Because I'll tell you what I want you to do, Jerry. I'm going to hand over to you, because as you can tell the listeners and watchers, listeners and watchers, what do you do, and why your work is so, for me, we'll describe your work, but why is it so important? How does it fit in with pain-supported self-management?
Yeah. Hopefully, when I explain this and what you say, how it fits in, I hope it would align. I believe it will align. I've been, and you guys know, we get on the calls, and I always have to remind everybody whenever I'm on a call and go, oh, don't forget I'm a healthcare provider, because I speak like I'm not. And I speak like I'm not because most of healthcare, so here we go. And I went through this journey. We get into healthcare, we become doctors, we become nurses, we become physios, we become all these different things. And we believe that we are the only solution to everybody's problem. And so even now in 2026, right, I've been in this 34 years. When we look at issues, it always starts with the providers. And what's missing, and I'll tell you what, I had to learn this by going outside of healthcare. What's missing is going, well, what's best for the people we serve? And everybody's like, well, the providers are burned out. We have to, they're the experts. We have to worry about them. I'm like, why don't we worry about the people we serve first? Because I believe the ultimate solution to healthcare is coming at it from I'm going to say people that are patients. If we come at it from the people who are patients angle, not the provider's angle, right? Like even with AI and technology, provider, I'm like, I believe we can do more good with AI when we get out of the provider space. Why are we starting there? So, and that's just another example. And we got big egos, and we believe we know it all. And we always believe we have the answer. And yet we rarely ask for help. We rarely go outside and say, well, let's see what these other people are saying. So this lack of focus on the people we serve, and by the way, that's a business statement. The lack of focus on the people we serve is what's killing the industry, plain and simple. And so and you guys have heard this story, I only realized this. So I don't come at this like I've been, had this great altruistic view for 34 years. This didn't come until I started answering the phone in my own healthcare practice, right? My physiotherapy practice. And when I started talking to people on the front end who were asking for physiotherapy, and I started to learn more about them. And I'll tell you this word, I started to learn more about where they were on their journey, meaning my doctor told me to come. My neighbor told me to come. Oh, I've been looking for a solution. I started to hear all these, I don't want to say stories. It wasn't the stories that got me here. It was the fact that I learned that people were on a journey and just told this next step. And the bulk of people calling, here's the biggest takeaway. The bulk of people calling had no fucking idea what we do. And I say it that way because that's on us, not on them. That was the other thing. We would always put that back on the patient. Well, the patient doesn't know what we do. I go, well, no shit. Someone just told them to show up, and they call to schedule, like Keith calls, and I put you on the schedule, and you show up. You don't know what to expect from the provider. The provider gets frustrated because, oh, you didn't know what to expect. Oh, we didn't get your information. Oh, we didn't know you were coming here. So this whole chaos, I call it the chaos that occurs from all this. So again, if we take a step back and come at it from a patient's journey, and when someone calls, you guys have heard this, I ask Keith, so Keith, what do you need from me? Well, I have low back pain. Okay, Keith, we can help you. Yet what's most important to me is I learn a little bit more about you. What have you done? And you say, well, I had this low back pain for 2 weeks. Cool. I've had this low back pain for 8 years. Right now, they're two completely different people, but yet healthcare treats them all as low back pain. So, so this whole idea around, right, this person we serve and doing a better job of learning more about them, letting them lead the conversation, letting them bring their experience to all this so that we, the providers, the healthcare system, can make sure you all get to the right place at the right time with the right person, and the right person being right. We didn't say right provider, said right person. This is when I'm going to double back in self-management, because I believe it is my job within the system to talk to someone like Keith and go, you know what, Keith, the best thing you could do right now is not be in this system. And I have a great, right? And I have a great solution for you, right? I have this group we call the, low back pain, whatever. I don't want to say the word self-management, but we have this low back pain for you, Pete. And I'm going to put you in touch with this gentleman named Pete. And I give you the next step. And I tell you why you should look forward to it. And I make sure you have the contacts. And by the way, I follow up with you 5 days later to make sure you followed up with Pete. And probably the best thing for the majority of people coming into healthcare is to not be in the system, so that we have alternative solutions. And by alternative, I don't mean funky shit. I'm saying other than scheduling with me today. All right, I'll stop talking now. And hopefully that spelled that, and that's been what I've learned over my journey of 34 years.
Jerry, can you often talk about the front desk?
Yeah.
So front desk. Yeah. Because when you started talking about the recovery or the treatment starts at the front desk, and I know when we have a crappy experience with the front desk, wherever that may be, in healthcare, or you think just, I always remember, I remember like going to a hospital years ago, the optician said I need to get my eyes checked and all that. And I walked in the room and the doctor, he just ignored me. And I just had to find somewhere to sit down. He just totally ignored me. And I thought to myself, this ain't going to go well.
Right. And by the way, you think to yourself, it's not going to go well. And it didn't, right?
Yeah, and it didn't go well. Yeah. And in the end, it did. It did. And I said to, as I walked out after the appointment, I said to his nurse, he hasn't got any people skills, is he? And she said, no. And that's always, that's always stuck with me, but it's not, unfortunately, it's not, it's a story. When I get emails from others, sometimes they don't get a good experience from the get-go. So, I mean, what the work you do around the front desk? How does that work?
So I want to tie this back into what I just shared. So when I say we owe a conversation, when we owe Keith, I'm going to say Keith calls in, that I'm talking about the conversation with the front desk. So I want everybody to take everything I just said prior to this and think about your experience with front desk people. Because here's the deal. Keith calls me today. Keith's had this low back pain for 5 years and he's looking for a solution. I, as the front desk person, now have two choices. I can get his first name, last name, date of birth, insurance information, and tell him, good, we've got something in 3 weeks on Thursday at 10 o'clock. And Keith says, sure. But Keith waits 3 weeks to arrive at a 10 o'clock appointment to meet with a provider for 15 minutes to say, I can't help you. And I'm like, what the fuck did we just do here? This is right. So the onus is on understanding the patient's journey, not only their journey to get to you, but their journey within the system that you are involved. And how can we do better upstream? You've heard me use that word. And upstream is the step before. So we are in a system here in the States where everything is about Keith calls. When Keith calls, you put him on the schedule. And I'm like, what for? Why are we putting Keith on the schedule? Well, because he has to show up so he can see the doctor to get the next step. And I go, I absolutely disagree. Absolutely disagree, right? Because it's right person. So Keith is the right person in the right place at the right time. I said that a little differently. But it is job further upstream. And this is where the tech and the AI, I believe, should be leveraged, and why the biggest value is upstream. I should be able to have a person-to-person conversation. And I don't mean the AI takes the call. I mean the AI guiding the call. I should be able to have, as a front desk person, Pete, I should be able to have a conversation with Keith to understand better where he should be. Maybe he should be on the schedule. Maybe he should be seeing someone else. Maybe he should be seeing nobody at all. Maybe he should go see Pete Moore in the self-management group. That is the role of the front desk. And I learned this through taking the calls myself. So when I took the calls on my business, I probably should have clarified this. I didn't take them as a provider. I took them as the first point of contact with the business. Right? ABC Physiotherapy. This is Jerry. How can I help you? Yeah, hi, my name's Keith. I was looking to get scheduled for some physiotherapy. Well, what I say next is going to guide the conversation. Great, Pete. Can I get your last name, your date of birth, and everything? And great, I got you on the schedule for 10:30, 3 weeks out. Or I can say, oh, Keith, so sorry to hear about that. I got good news for you. You called the right place. We do help a lot of people with low back pain. Now, when I say that, that means I help get you to the right place, not I put you on the schedule. We help a lot of people with low back pain. If I could learn a little bit more about you, Keith, I can make sure I have the right expert for you, and then that you do want to get scheduled. Would that work for you? Well, you and I both know everybody's going to say yes. So then this is not a 20-minute phone call. This is not a 45-minute phone call, but this is now a conversation about Keith. Remember, this is the front desk. This is now a conversation with Keith and me about what is best for him, not what's best for me, the business. So that to me, Pete, that's the work of the front desk, is to have a conversation with Keith and help him get to the best place for him next. And again, that could be on the schedule. But even if he's on the schedule, you guys have heard me talk about this, I got to make sure he knows he's in the right place. I got to make sure I've collected the right information to share with his provider. So when he walks in the room, nobody's surprised. Keith's not surprised. The provider's not surprised. None of this is rocket science, right? It's just a matter of collecting some information, making sure it gets passed on. It's just about changing the current system.
Yeah, Katie from Physio Fast Online, she just messaged in and said, basically, people should be valued.
I mean, right? And you tell me, hi, what's your first name? Hi, what's your last name? Hi, what's your phone number? What's your social security number? What's your insurance? So why don't you tell me the value in that, right? There's zero value in that. And by the way, I only asked you your name so I could enter you into the system. I didn't ask you your name because I wanted to have a conversation with you, right? So there's damn near, to the person on the other end of the phone, zero value in that conversation. I'm glad she said that.
Yeah. What I really like about what you shared, Jerry, comes back to one of these planks that I keep coming back to in my advocacy, is that healthcare providers treat people, not their illness. And what I love about what you talked about, especially in the U.S. system, not to rail on it, but it's Pete and I enjoy a system there. It's a public system, so money isn't exactly the same issue. But when you make it less about the money and the person, like you said, you talked about what do you need, what are you looking for? Because half the time they don't know when they call, right? They just don't know. So if you give them some guidance, and if, as you say, the right thing is you don't need to see me right now. You need to go this way. You're not saying you might not need to see me, but right now this is your first step. That takes a lot of courage to say, I'm probably not your next step right now. Here's something that I believe you need. That is focusing in on the person first.
Yeah.
And again, I believe that you just said, Keith, was the only approach pre-tech, pre-everything. But now I'm going to say, I know Keith, Pete and I have talked a little more. I believe now with tech, this is where we leverage the tech. We leverage the tech to do exactly what you just said, Keith, not bring it in the provider room and wait for someone to get in the room, right? And with the scribe, right? The AI scribe, it's like, but I keep saying, but if Keith shouldn't be in the room, who the fuck cares about that? I curse a lot. You guys know I curse a lot because I get passionate about this. Who cares about the AI scribe if Keith should have never been in the room in the first place? I'm like, let's move the technology up and let's empower people. And by empower people, I mean the front desk people we have to empower the front desk to have a better conversation. We have to empower the front desk and tell them you are an important cog in this wheel. You are actually helping people get to the right place. Where typically when someone gets hired on to